We're starting our 5th year of full-time travel
in a couple of weeks.
In like a week and a half. And there's one thing that we've always said that we want to do. We want to go to places that make us feel totally uncomfortable.
Will and I prefer to be out of our comfort zone. I know it sounds really weird, but we feel most alive when we're like that. And if you watch the Morocco series, you'll know.
Right, so we have now ventured into a part of Europe that we don't know what to expect. We're now in the Eastern Bloc. We're now in Eastern Europe. We've just entered the Czech Republic, and even though this is like Eastern Europe light, this is gonna be... It is,
I just saw a Pizza Hut.
I know, but it's gonna be fun, and we're gonna explore it right now.
And we're gonna go deeper into Eastern Europe in the next 6 months.
Yep.
In 2014, we sold all of our possessions,
quit our jobs, and set off as a family for a one-year adventure in Costa Rica.
The 1 year was not enough,
so we rolled up our sleeves and figured out how to make this journey continue.
we are WorldTowning.
Join our family,
Largo,
Jessica,
Avalon,
and Will, as we travel the world
to connect deeply to local cultures, go on epic adventures,
and grow closer as a family.
So we are now at the grocery store. We have a celebration going on this week. Jessica's birthday is, well, it's tomorrow, and as much as we have an RV full of stuff, we don't have enough for like celebration. So Largo is being my assistant here. What are we gonna get, Largo?
I don't know what you're getting yet.
The good thing about this whole like living on the road thing is that you get to realize one thing that is universally true. Grocery stores, for the most part that we've seen, are like the same everywhere. You know, all the dry goods are all organized in the same fashion. I don't know sort of how there was a universal convention of how grocery stores are going to be put together, but in this case, we're finding it pretty easy here, even though the languages are not exactly the same. You're going the wrong way, mister. I have a list here from Avalon. She's actually in school right now while we're here, so she's texting me what's on her menu. Avalon's on the cake duty, so she always likes to go ahead and find like something totally different. We had a watermelon cake that was for Mother's Day. I don't know what she has in store for today, but...
Okay, are you making the watermelon cake?
Now.
Then what's the watermelon for? It's definitely watermelon cake. Did you ask for the 3 bars of chocolate for melting or not?
Yeah.
Dad, those 3 bars of chocolate, are they meltable?
I think so.
Okay.
I might need a little more than 3.
Dad, did you hear that?
She's only getting 3.
Dad said you're only getting 3.
Something special is happening today. We're celebrating something.
Hey. Hi. Don't look. Close.
Where do I go? Okay, I won't look, but where am I going? Ooh, the floor's really dirty. Okay, Mark, I won't look. I'm just gonna come sit down over here.
Sit down.
Can we tell her what it is? No. What is it? It involves something that's in there, which is...
Don't say anything.
I think it's chocolate.
Shush.
Do you know what it is?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know, I just want to kiss.
Mom, here's an early birthday snack.
1, 2, 3.
Yum! I dip them in the chocolate?
Not just you, we get some too.
What? Not just me. So did you make these? I do love these. Where'd you find these?
Grocery store.
They have them here in Czech? Oh, they have everything here. I'm staying forever. Oh my gosh, there's a fingernail in there.
Stop that, Mom.
Is that your finger? Oh, Avalon, gross.
It's so funny, Mom.
Welcome to another episode of RVNN. And we have a special guest. Drum roll, please. Drum roll. Auntie!
Okay.
What are you guys looking forward to with Auntie and Dwayne visiting?
Well, number 1, to see them.
Number 1, to see them.
Miss
Number
them a
2,
lot.
Pirate's Booty.
And candy corn they're bringing.
I have one sibling, and her name is Brandy, and she lives in Los Angeles. And over the course of our life, we have gone to the same university together. We've lived in various cities together. We've been roommates, but I have not had the opportunity to spend a lot of time with her for 10 years since I lived in Los Angeles. When I was pregnant with Largo, we left Los Angeles, and so I really, really miss her. And today, I get to hang out with her for 24 hours. She is in Italy for a wedding, and she's popped over here to hang out with us for 24 hours in Prague. So we are going to take Prague by storm. Get ready.
Oh, how it burns. We barely started on every turn. Keep moving further, and all of my roads
since our break-in that we had in Brussels, we've been without stuff for a long time, at least like a week and a half, 2 weeks, like computer and hard drives, everything else. It is so much more affordable to buy them in the US than it is in Europe. So knowing that she was gonna show up, we had everything shipped over to her. A new laptop, a new drone, a new everything else. She is, well, let's just call her Mule for today because there is so much that she's brought over on this plane. I'm surprised that she didn't have to pay duty when she actually arrived in this country.
They weren't sure. I wasn't sure if they were both broken.
What is that?
Little blazing.
So one of the things we want to do here in Prague is we want to see the city. Now Prague is a big city. It's an international capital. There's a lot to behold. There's a castle, there's Old Town, there's a lot to do. We really don't have like 48 hours, 72 hours to check out a city. Well, we do, but we don't have the time to see that and then become culturally immersed. There's a lot to do. So we're renting now e-bikes, these guys right over here, and we're gonna take this and we're gonna see like all the things that you normally get into like a taxi cab and go from here to place, here to place. The kids are super excited because they want to see everything, or at least they say they want to see everything, but they don't realize how far things are. These e-bikes are gonna take us all over the place and get a guide and the whole 9 yards.
You ridden a bike before? It's very easy.
It's been a while, but okay. Wait a minute. Which one's the gas?
This is the gas. Stop. You gotta start already.
You gonna be okay?
I'm fine. I've done this already.
If you add more thrust, you won't shake.
What do you think, Will?
I'm thinking that this is gonna be one of the most adventurous ventures we've been on. We're in Prague and there's beer tours and there's little e-cycle tours. I think we do the e-cycle tour first and then we do the beer tour.
Are you going to stand up on yours or you're going to sit down? We're kind of old school. We're used to sitting down.
I think we're all not old school.
You're going to video and do it at the same time?
I'm going to be like this. I'm going to be like, whoa!
Oh my gosh. I don't want to be in the ER today.
That's not part of the plan.
About to leave, already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking, we'll get away to a place where we don't know.
What are you doing? You tried to pass me?
About to see the world in action.
This is hard. Is this the advanced one?
So when you get a bunch of people who come in and just basically fly overnight to come visit us for 24 hours, because they're not here for a long time, they're only here for like a day and a half. They have a wedding to go to in Italy. This is, well, they're really jet lagged and we don't know exactly how people react to visiting Europe after flying all night, and we're like go, 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 go. And we don't expect everyone to be a part of what we're doing in terms of being super active. So getting something on e-bikes like this is, I mean, this is like golden right now. They're like, we're so tired, but this is so easy.
What do you think about this e-scooter tour so far?
It's good.
This has been your dream come true. You're still not big enough for the Segway, but we got the second best. What's your favorite part?
Everything.
Everything?
Only driving.
Only driving. Have you pushed it as far as it'll go yet?
Yep.
And you're right behind the leader, so
yeah.
You're like second in command.
Yeah.
A classic cliche, we're on the run. This is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights up, died with my own doubts.
I envision this is what it's going to be like with you and I in the nursing home in our motorized vehicles. Racing. I see us on these like racing through Europe. I don't think we're going to be in a nursing home. But can you see us on this with our video equipment? Be like, come on, Will, hurry up, I want dinner.
I see myself and you in a sidecar.
With a drone on my front sidecar.
It's been so nice to have family come over.
It's
and
awesome.
And it really, you know, it testifies the fact that since we're traveling so much, that people still want to come visit us.
I know.
That means that people actually do like us.
I love it. I truly love having guests. I mean, we have guests from our pre-travel life. We have family that come to visit. We have friends we've made along the way. I mean, we welcome guests all the time. My mom and dad made a commitment, or I don't know, made a decision that they would come visit us wherever we were in the world on each one of the kids' birthdays or around there and every other Christmas.
Which has been a delight for the kids, because one of the things that they love to have around is family. And so having this little touch of family every now and then
is really great.
It's really great for them.
Remember, once upon a time, when we went ziplining with my mom in Costa Rica for Largo's birthday. Cheers. This is what it's all about, kids. It's been a tough transition, but we finally made it for the adventure.
Daddy!
Hi, Mom. Was that one scary?
Oh, very good. That was good.
Remember also in when Largo went on his birthday, learned how to be a gondolier in Venice, and they came with us on that.
Largo, go get your sister. Come on. You gotta hurry up, Largo.
Go.
If he falls over, we're in trouble.
So the question for you guys is the question of a vlog. How often do you visit family?
And how often do they come visit you? I know.
Whether you're traveling or not. I mean, is it important to you? Do you love it when they come? Or are you just totally stressed out and like, oh, family's coming? Do you want it to happen more often than it does? Have you asked family to come more? Have you asked them to come less?
Welcome to day 2 of Prague. We're also sad. We said goodbye to
We are sad.
to sister-in-law, auntie, and
her partner. And the
partner.
kids are super sad. Largo's like going through complete withdrawals. I think she needs to come travel with us.
Luckily, they dropped off a lot of candy though,
Yeah.
and so the kids are now sort of like, I miss them, but this candy is really good.
Our kids miss things from every country, and they particularly miss candy corn and Peeps from the U.S. around Halloween time. So we have a bag of candy corn like this. Largo was munching it for breakfast this morning. I go, what's that sound? He's like, nothing.
So today we're going to go see Prague Castle.
Prague Castle.
And we're starting early.
We are starting early.
So it's a little bit cold. It's going to get warmer.
And I have a confession. I'm not a Starbucks girl, but I had to go have a pumpkin spice latte. So good.
I just had a coffee. Okay, we got to go.
You have to realize we have got over 1,000 years of architecture and history there. And this tour of about 2.5 to 3 hours, I cannot cover absolutely everything.
So this amazing structure behind Will and I was built by King Ferdinand for his wife Anne to profess his love for her.
His lovely wife Anne, who never actually saw this thing being built.
I know, because she passed away before. That's so sad.
I know, when you die, I'm going to build a garden just for you. I'm going to start it just as you're on your deathbed. That's a little morbid.
That's super romantic. Can I just have cheese right now instead?
Sure, that's easier. I don't have to get my hands dirty. One of the things that makes this place really unique is that since this place has been around since the 800s, I was going to say 1800s, but since the 800s, and it's been built on and reworked and sort of rebuilt and everything else over the last 1,200 years, that this is a pure representation of all the different architectural styles that occurred in Europe over the last 1,200 years. It is, you just walk around and it's like a village in itself. It's like cities, and there's like areas where the king would hang out, and now like the presidential work area, the presidential palace is back there as well. You can just see really like a history in time of what Europe was and sort of how it evolved architecturally. It's really interesting. What do you think about the tour so far?
It's fun.
It's fun? I'm very impressed.
Oh, of course I'd rather be at home reading, but besides that, it's fun.
Our goal with our channel has always been to be brutally honest, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we get the sweetest comments from all of you saying, oh my gosh, the kids are so engaged, they love everything, they're so happy, they're so smart. Thank you. I'm going to be honest, they're not always engaged on these walking tours.
You see, the thing is this with these tours, we are, well, if you've been watching our story all along, we're all about adventuring and about seeking life and learning through our travels.
I think at the end of the day, we try to not do too many of these big group tours because we are all kinesthetic learners. Often the material is dry, the guides are not always great, they're not necessarily good with kids, and it's very, very, kind of textbook driven and facts, and there's not a lot of personal stories. However, when we do get guides, which does happen from time to time, who are able to give us the facts and tell the stories and the legends and the mysteries, the kids are super engaged.
I think our guide is really great. He's got a sense of humor. He has a lot of information.
So as much as we've cut down on how many walking tours we do, we still get a lot out of them. And if you're looking at it going, my kid would never get anything out of it, they will take something home with them. Probably a legend, a mystery of some sort. Was someone killed? You know, why was this built in several different styles? Was there controversy? So don't say or think that your kid possibly couldn't do it and that ours are these mystery kids. No, they get dreadfully bored on a lot of these things as well.
Because you can only listen to so many facts about how an alchemist tried to turn lead into gold and how this place was rebuilt in this wing because once upon a time the president at the time didn't like it, they let it go to waste.
They do complain, they get tired, but they always come out saying, oh, but remember when they said this? That was super cool. In the end, we still do try to do as much kinesthetic learning and experiences and hands-on stuff, because they definitely, I know every kid isn't like this, but ours really wake up and relate to that incredibly well. If it's a cooking class of a local food, or if it's some sort of type of artisan like making lace or pottery, anything like that, they're totally into it. So that's my little tidbit on kind of how we school and integrate into the culture with the kids.
When I think about the way we used to be, when I think about the things you took from me, I know that I am so much better. When I look at what I've done, now that we're apart, when I look at what I've won, I've come so far. I know I'm so much better off, and baby, you don't belong.
So next part of today's adventure in Prague is going to an alternative art tour. Now, this is where we're going to be, well, this is the part that we're actually really keen on. We're going to go see sort of what counterculture looks like and what people did as a sign of defiance towards communism and how it sort of still spans into today. So we're now entering what is called a legal graffiti zone. So Czech has public walls. In other words, walls are owned by the government, and they've designated a lot of these walls as areas for people for self-expression. So graffiti art is a real thing here. The rule is you can't graffiti on someone's personal property, you can't graffiti in what's called Prague 1, which is like the tourist area. But once you exit Prague 1 and you're in like this area where everyone's allowed to do it, it becomes just a feast for the eyes.
In Prague we have 35 legal graffiti walls. There is just one worldwide graffiti rule you have to follow, and that is that you cannot paint over other graffiti artists if you are not better or more respected than him.
Really?
Yes, sure. It makes all sense because you will not this, but you know what? If you come here in 2-3 days, the wall will be completely different because people paint here every single day.
Where are you from?
From Manchester.
Manchester.
Yeah.
Do you live here now, or are you?
No, I've just visited.
So this is like the wall for all the pros that come and sort of leave their mark?
Exactly, yeah. It's perfect because you can just go over someone and then it's, yeah, you just leave it and you go, and then the next day someone else paints on it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
How long does this take to make?
So I started this about an hour and a half ago.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so I'll do another 2 hours and then...
And then tomorrow someone may paint over it?
Probably, yeah. I did there's a mushroom down there, I did that 3 weeks ago, and it's got a little scribble on it, but that's it, so that's stayed quite a while.
We have. But often people ask me, okay, then is this district danger or something like that? Prague, it's one of the safest capital cities in the world. Just this year we got to be the 6th safest capital city in the world. That's awesome. So it's very safe, don't be afraid.
What's the first safest?
Hey, I don't know, I think it will be maybe Iceland or Zurich or...
You know what's the least safest?
What?
Brussels.
Really?
No, I don't know.
Would you consider Prague to be like one big counterculture society at this point? Is it going that way?
I think we have, because our society is very open-minded, we have a lot of places which is hard to find in other places because our country is post-communist country, so we still have sometimes other people have more important problems to take care of, and the new generation wants big change, so it's very motivated and try to start here many new things.
I love it. I mean, it's almost like a rebirth from the dark era, and now sort of the youth is making it happen.
It's a big contrast compared to city center, because city center it's like royal, beautiful place, kind of fairy tale and so, and young people try to make here change, some alternative, same like our organization.
And that's made from recycled trash bins?
Mm-hmm. Look at it, you can see the top up here. Oh, that's so cool. Should we get you one for the camping car?
It's actually not that bad.
So not only were we robbed, the emotional part of it, losing footage, losing money, dealing with the insurance, dealing with the side effects 2 weeks later because we're still just nervous about everything. But now Will has spent, what, 3 days?
It's just resetting up everything, you know. I mean, Microsoft Word and Skype and downloading apps and doing it at a campground where you have slow Wi-Fi.
And now you need to learn a new drone.
That's easy.
Right.
That's,
I know
that's
that's
the fun part.
I know that's fun, but it is time consuming. So, how are you feeling? Like from an emotional standpoint, how are you feeling?
I wish I could spend the time doing more on this, because
like editing.
I want to get more videos out.
You and I see people that have these schedules where they post every Sunday or every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We have been striving for that for so long. We can't seem to manage it, and we kind of dissect it and we say, well, why can't we do it? And I think what it is because we're in a camping car in countries where we don't speak the language, don't know the food. The currency is often different every time we switch a country. We're schooling and working. Our life is not structured and scheduled, therefore our vlogs are not. It sounds kind of crazy, but we can't adhere to a schedule, and the robbery is a perfect example. And I think, you know, so many people reached out to us and like, where are they? How come they haven't uploaded in a while? Because we don't have a consistent schedule. People are like, when is one coming? Is it coming today? Is it coming tomorrow? Is it coming in 3 days, 4 days? And we went an entire week without posting, and people were messaging us saying, are you guys okay? And it was because we were, you know, down to 2 computers and kind of working on a skeleton crew and working in the night shift, trying to kind of make this all work. So long story short, it really sucks to be robbed from a financial standpoint. Even though we had insurance, we will still lose some money. From a productivity, work, and school standpoint, because we had to deal with the insurance, it was really difficult to even get any work done. That was very time consuming. And that from an emotional standpoint, you know, it's not that initial feeling when you get to your camping car, or your house door, or your car door, whatever, and you see the doors open and your heart just drops. Like you're like that was my first thought. And then my second thought was, what if they're still in there? And what if they have a gun? Or what if they're still watching us? You know, and then once you get through that, you kind of go through like another grieving process where you sit down. We sat down in the camping car, and I just kind of stood there like almost with my mouth open going, what do we do now? And then I started wandering around the park, asking people if they saw something. And then I went up the street and asked the homeless people if they saw anything. I don't even know what I was thinking. I was so confused. And now 2 weeks later, from the emotional standpoint, Will and I are like nervous Nellies. I'm sure we're gonna get past this. It's not our nature to be nervous, but I walk down the street, and if I see something that feels a little odd, I'm like, are they gonna rob us? When we leave our campground, I think, are we gonna come back and find ourselves robbed? And it has nothing to do with the country we're in or people in general. It's just that the after effect of having someone violate you. And now we're kind of in the mode where we're still nervous, but now we've got Will spending hours upon hours unable to do other work that we need to get done and get a video up, you know, and work on other projects with our business because he's stuck here kind of uploading and getting everything back together. Do you think we're going to get past this? Do you think we're eventually, I mean, I'm optimistic, but I'm optimistic thinking.
At the end of the day, we have to be strong for the kids, because if they see us in all of a panic, then they're going to be like in panic for the rest of their lives. So we can't. I mean, inside, I'm going to worry, but I'm not going to let it show.
Are they over there? Is that why you're pointing that way?
Yeah.
I know. I think we're holding it together pretty well.
I think so.
You like my hair? This is my post-robbery hair. I think I'm gonna go out like this from now on.
So you're the fire, you're the flare, you're the song inside my head.
We are currently in a town called Deets.
This is a city which was destroyed to rubble.
Completely destroyed. what happened was...
This was an action on behalf of Adolf Hitler as a retaliatory strike because the person who he had instilled to go ahead and govern this area during the Third Reich, he was actually assassinated, or a plot to assassinate him occurred, which led to his eventual death.
And as retaliation, Hitler picked a town, I guess a village, and decided that he would completely remove it and just destroy it. Destroy it so much that when it was bombed, they wanted to make sure that it was not recoverable at all. So they even dug the bodies up from the cemetery of the people that were already dead and uprooted all the trees. And before he completely flattened it, the city had about 500 people in it. And they took the men, which were around 170-ish men, and they took them and they put them in front of firing squad and killed them.
He took about
140
women and sent them to a concentration camp.
And some of them did survive. And then they took
about 80 children. And with the exception of about 13 or 14, they were sent to an imminent death at a work camp where they were gassed.
When the mothers and the children were separated, they were told they would see them in about 20 minutes and that they were putting the kids on a bus so they'd have a much more comfortable ride. Then before they were gassed, they had them write notes home to families saying, you know, we're really cold and we don't have any clean clothing and we're hungry. Can you please send clothing and food? And by the time the families received...
By the time they received those letters, it was already...
The kids were already dead.
They were already no longer.
And I think, you know, thousands and hundreds of thousands of people were not killed here in the DC. It was around 500, and I think it's one of those. We chose to visit it and watch a couple documentaries on it because you need to honor even the smaller spots, you know, where even more less people were killed because people were killed and a whole entire village was wiped out just because someone was angry. So we're here today to honor, you know, the children and the families and learn more about it and
we think it's just really important for not just us to remember, but for the kids to learn from this. And so we're waiting now. We're moving on to brighter pastures, to greener pastures, to something a little more fun. But I think this is just a required part of visiting this area. You cannot just come here and just ignore what happened in the past.
And I think, you know, we can sit here and show the pretty of all the cities and the food and the happy, but I think it's really, really important to share the history and the tragedy that happened as well, to honor the people that lost their lives, as well as to share history and make sure, you know, we learn from it and don't repeat it. So I hope we haven't lost you guys on this, and I'm sorry I broke down. So there's a lot of breaking down in these moments where I learn about this. It's just emotional, I'm sorry. But I hope, you know, you learn something from this.
So we're just taking a little break right now. We're getting out of the RV, which is parked right back there in a public parking lot. At least we think it says public parking lot.
We are delivering WorldTowning goods that need to be mailed out. WorldTowning hat, WorldTowning Turkish blanket, WorldTowning globe, and The Alchemist, because it's a great book. Who wants some?
We're sending this to people who are in our WorldTowning University class who have signed up and also learning how to go ahead and travel full-time. But we're now in Czech, and this is one of the hard parts about doing this because we don't know if we're going to be able to communicate with the guy at the post office. It's going to be a bit of a struggle, but luckily Google Translate.
We use Google Translate for everything.
Our best friend.
It failed this morning though. We went to do our laundry, remember? They told us it was the equivalent of $50 US.
I don't think it failed.
I don't know what they were going to do. You think they were going to... It didn't fail, it's true.
I think that was the right price.
If we had left it and come back and they had said the equivalent of $50 US, I probably would have peed my pants.
So for the moment we just still have a whole bathroom full of dirty laundry.
The moral of the story is we have dirty underwear.
We have no idea what to do here.
Should we use Google Translate on this?
You gotta pick a number before you go inside so that they can call your number.
Oh my God, just pick this one. It's gonna be a miracle if she gets this.
But you don't trust the Czech post office system?
No, I just think we're having language difficulties. I trust it. Now where do we go?
I have to admit, it wasn't that painful of a process.
I think what we're going to do from now on is WorldTowning University students are going to get a virtual gift. No more hats. It's too much whip.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I'm just kidding.
Don't say that.
I'm just kidding.
I know. But they're still going to get a hat. We like the hats.
We are currently about an hour east of Prague in an area called Sedlik in a town called Kutna Hora. And back in the 15th century, they started to build this Gothic church in this space. Bones of 30,000 plague victims decorate this church. The Gothic church looks pretty ordinary from the outside, but head into the basement to discover something chilling. Bones of thousands of humans were bleached, then ornately carved, and now artfully cover everything in sight.
Once upon a time, back in the 1200s, they went out and they brought in soil from the Holy Land, which made this whole ground now here very sacred. So, and everyone who wanted to die or was about to die said, I want to be buried here.
And so when the plague struck, 30,000 people were buried here, and then an additional 10,000 were buried here from that point on.
So the question became, what do we do with all these bones of all these bodies who have later been exhumed so we can fit more people in here because everyone wanted to be buried here?
And would you have thought of doing what they did?
I would never have imagined what they did here.
It's interesting and unique and creepy at the same time. I can't figure out how I feel about it. I'm kind of back and forth on it. When the community started to construct the Gothic church in the 15th century, many bones were moved and stacked in pyramids in the ossuary. And then around 1870, they hired a carver to take the bones and to bleach them and carve them and then display them inside this church as a form of artwork. So the bones of between 30 and 40,000 people are in this space, displayed as an artistic ambiance.
Why are you talking so quiet?
Because I don't want to wake the dead.
They're already dead.
I know, but still.
So what do you think about this place, Avalon?
It's creepy. Kind of, I guess. Not really, because the people who used to be these bones are now long gone. I think the person who designed it must have been depressed or something.
I'm not really sure how I feel about this. It's very kind of creepy and eerie to be in here and know that artwork was made in here with people's remains. However, from a personal standpoint, I would be totally fine, well, if you wanted to take my bones after I was gone and make it into an art piece, or they wanted to use it for medical research or whatever. So
as long as they painted pink, right?
As long as they painted pink.
What do you think about this place, Logan?
It's okay.
Yeah?
It's creepy.
Is that all you have to say about this place?
Yes. Largo out.
Goodbye, Czech Republic. It's been fun. It's been
goodbye
a little
Prague.
cold.
Goodbye church.
Goodbye e-scooters. Goodbye alternative art scene. Goodbye fried cheese. Fried cheese.
We had a lot of experiences here. What we've learned about a lot of things is this: is that Eastern Europe is something that is way different.
It's totally different.
It's like you just cross the line and all of a sudden it becomes a whole different world.
The history is different. By the way, I was totally fascinated by the history. We took some amazing tours, learned things that I couldn't even imagine learning ever in my life. Kind of like an insider's view. We got to hang out with my sister for a day. Thank you for coming to visit us.
Thank you for bringing all the new computer and drone and everything else.
Dragging all our stuff across the world.
Hope you like the drone footage, by the way. But at this point, we have to say we are in Eastern Europe though for a while. And goodbye, goodbye Czech.
Goodbye Czech.
But hello Eastern Europe. For the next couple months, it's going to be Eastern Europe all the way through.
And I think it's going to be cold, guys.
I think it's going to be cold.
Send sweaters.
But I'm still wearing shorts because I refused to say die on summer.
No, that's just because all your pants are dirty. Tell the truth. We got to do laundry.
I'm wearing some really cool leg warmers right now. But with that, we're saying goodbye, and the sun's coming in. So I think this is now time to say subscribe.
Tell your friends. You have questions about
hit the
Czech
notification
Republic?
buttons, and we'll see you next time on WorldTowning.
Bye.
Au revoir. Are you holding down the fort?
Protecting everything from big bad Starbucks robbers.
And so this is my editing studio right now.
They're lurking on every corner.
I buy the sales. I may grab a cup. I don't know.
Is this a spice latte?
No, it's a flat white.